They ripped our boys. They ripped our girls. They ripped our women. They ripped our men. They unalived them. They ate them. Everything white people crying about in these Epstein files, it was done to black people for 250 years.
Videos of girls dancing in a Manhattan townhouse, model castings, pornography of all kinds.
We were groomed, we were manipulated, and we were taken advantage of.
Donald Trump is a puppet for the Zionists. He's on the Epstein papers. There's nothing in the Epstein file that was not done on the plantation. Epstein ain't dead. There's no way you're going to tell me an intelligence agent for Mossad could not have gotten out of America and gotten back to Israel. Right. I don't think he's dead.
I am the president's #1 fan, and that's not going to change.
A lot of us do this kind of stuff, right? It's her today. It'll be somebody else tomorrow.
Trump had a post go out online in which it depicted the Obamas like monkeys.
Mr. President, a number of Republicans are calling on you to apologize for that post. Is that something you're going to do?
No, I didn't make a mistake.
It was a wake-up call to the Obamas. Yes, you were president. Yes, you were the first lady. But to us, you still ain't nothing but a bunch of monkeys.
What do you think Jay-Z's recourse could be, should be?
We keep quiet because the satanic, pedophilic, elite white supremacist aristocracy of this planet have amassed so much power in military strength that they're almost ready to say, so what you know?
Yeah.
What can you do about it? Kelly, Cosby, and Combs got rolled out and convicted before Epstein because the white power structure needed to give the American people something to chew on. So by the time we get around to Epstein, your appetite will already be a little filled. At least you saw some justice. Y'all have elites who have eaten babies, molested girls, sodomized boys, unalived victims, and nobody's gonna be prosecuted, but Sean Combs is in jail. If I'm Puffy's team, we going back to court. We had to let the Roman Catholic Church off the hook because the Vatican is in bed with the Zionists. They know the American people are hypnotized, so if I drop Jay-Z name, y'all will run with Jay-Z name and forget about Bill Gates. Epstein was one of an entire cell of blackmail agents working for the Israeli Secret Service Mossad. Israel is the capital of the United States of America.
And if you ain't talking no dough, then I ain't interested. Look, they say the sky's the limit, I'm going farther than that. She keep blowing on my phone, so I called her mama, come get your daughter back. They just want a little bit of fame, get them boys whack. What, baby? Little one eye, bust your brain, better get a hard hat. They say the sky's the limit, I'm going farther. They can try to, but can't kill me. I'm immortal. I just bought a life, as and did a side, come with that order. You lazy, the reason you broke, you don't know how to hustle. Don't try me, they know I'm stressed, son. Red rum, red dot. Hit the block when 12 come. Know I'm thuggin' to the fullest, asking for a bullet, cause he never felt one. Stick him to the wall, this a nail gun. Riding with my dog, tryna nail something. Yeah. I said that on you when he got your partner too.
Let's talk about celebrity politics. Nicki Minaj. Yes. Nicki Minaj has been in the news lately. It feels like that she is, I would say, she is damaging her reputation, if you ask me, from a black perspective. What's your thoughts on Nicki Minaj and some of what you've seen her do over the past couple of months?
Nicki Minaj has out. She's still a black woman, so I'm not going to disrespect her from that angle. There's a certain degree of honor that I just have to give the divine feminine, but politically she's a coon. To take sides against your home country, Trinidad, to take sides, not against the country, the political, but the people in it, because Trinidad has an East Indian president who treats the black people like down there. You see? You ain't standing for them. Because remember, Trinidad went against the other Caribbean islands and stood with Trump. When they didn't agree with him invading Venezuela, Trinidad stood with Trump against the Caribbean.
Yes.
And Nicki Minaj stood with the Asian president of Trinidad, the East Indian. And you know they can't stand black folks, right? But I think she has some East Indian parentage or whatever the case may be.
Do you believe she's cognizant? Like she knows what she's doing?
What she's doing. They always know what they're doing. She was never loyal to black people. But remember, Loon, this is not just an incident of a Caribbean African rapper coming to America and betraying the race or betraying the American African people who made her famous. A lot of us do this kind of stuff, right? It ain't unique to the Caribbean African immigrant. It's unique to black people because we don't have any honor and any integrity. It's her today. It'll be somebody else tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? The question is, what system are we going to put in place to punish and prevent this type of behavior? Because if we're not talking about how we're going to prevent or punish this type of behavior, and by punish, I don't mean no physical harm to nobody, but there needs to be sanctions for Negroes who betray the race. She is due sanctions for her betrayal of African people. And I don't think we should let it go. She's wrong.
What happens is some of our artists and celebrities, they get championed as free thinkers when they move close to these controversial systems.
One of the big mistakes we have always made, Loon, Brother Malcolm X said it, El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, fellow Pan-Africanist, fellow Garveyite. Our celebrity class, because they are a class, they are an elitist class of privileged Negroes, they should never be our spokespersons. They should never be our spokespersons, because what they are at risk of losing is too great for us to ever expect them to ride or die for the masses.
That makes sense.
But that's why the white man chooses them, because the white man knows if I put one of them out there, they're only going to go but so far. I done made them too comfortable. See that? They make them rich on purpose to make sure they don't return to the community. Remember, the black celebrity is the new black bourgeoisie, because the traditional black bourgeoisie don't hold no influence anymore. When I was a young boy, Michael Eric Dyson, we listened to him a little bit, right? Cornel West, we listened to them a little bit. They still got a little political cachet, but these millennials ain't listening to them. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they not listening to them.
Nah, they disconnected.
Remember, 20, 30 years ago, scholars still held some sway. Pastors still held some sway. Then don't get me wrong, Jamal Bryant still got a little cachet. Creflo Dollar got a little cachet. TD Jakes got a little cachet. But millennials, by and large, don't follow them. You follow what I'm saying? So the white power structure said, we got to keep these Negroes under control. How are we going to do that? So they said, you know what we got to do? We have to elevate the celebrities to be the spokespersons of the black community, because this is who they follow and listen to and will not criticize.
Now, you told me why you believe Nicki. You know, you told me what she's doing. Mm-hmm. Why is she doing it?
I don't know yet. Is she doing it just because? Maybe she never liked American African people. Is she doing it because Donald Trump got something on her? Is she doing it because it's a promise of something? I don't know why, but I do know that what she's doing is not acceptable.
Right. It said right here, I have at the Trump's Account Summit, Washington, D.C., January 28, 2006, Nicki Minaj says, I'm probably the president's #1 fan, and that's not going to change.
I heard that.
The hate, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. What's your thoughts on even celebrities at all? And I know you're saying they're losing cachet, but what's your thoughts on celebrities flirting with politics like this?
Here's my question to Nicki. A president only gets 2 terms. This is Trump's second. What are you going to do after these 3 years?
Exactly.
He's not a king. Now, if she was doing this with King Charles, right?
Yeah.
He's there till he dies.
Yeah.
Trump is there for 3 years. What are you going to do after? Maybe he's going to set her up. I mean, he's a billionaire.
It is being said that she's been undocumented this entire time, and maybe he's going to give her one of those Trump
But some
cards.
people are saying she has her citizenship.
Right, and so
I don't know the case.
She did take a picture with the Trump card. I think Trump and them.
Well, the Trump card was fake.
That's what
The
they
White
said.
House came out and
I
said
didn't
it
like.
was real.
I said that was kind of them on her. Because if she really posted that, trying to show black people like, maybe I'm doing this to try to get I'm trying to get myself in. They came out and said, hey, whatever she's showing you, that ain't no good.
Because you are only and forever will be nothing more than a tool to the white power structure. That's all you are.
So can black people participate in politics, in your opinion?
Yes. The question is, can we benefit from it? And the answer to that is only if we organize. Politics is useless unless you have an organized black vote.
So black people unorganized, should they participate in politics?
If they want, but it's a waste of time. You understand? You can go to church, but you ain't going to get nothing measurable out of it. You see what I'm saying? You can do it, but until I'm gonna make it real simple. Disorganized people can't hold anybody accountable. See? Disorganized people can't hold anybody accountable. Black people vote in every election, get nothing for it. Why? Because you're disorganized. You can't hold anybody accountable.
Wow.
But nobody wants to do the work of organizing black people, Loon. See that? We are not interested in doing the labor-intensive work of organizing the masses.
Now, do we allow black people to make bad political choices?
What do you mean?
Do black people, in your opinion, have autonomy to choose wrong? But I'm choosing based on the information I've been given. Do you forgive a black person that goes that way? What's your thoughts on, I believe there's a level of autonomy that people should have, celebrity or otherwise, that mistakes may be made.
I agree with you. There's a level of autonomy that everyone should have and be allowed to make a mistake. The clarifying point I want to make is whatever degree of autonomy you have, it cannot be so great that it can disadvantage the agenda for the rest of us. In other words, we need to be having a group conversation on who we should be supporting. In other words, you can't have 50 million American Africans in their 50 million divided homes coming up with what they think is best.
Right.
That's a schizophrenic strategy.
Yes.
See that?
Yes.
It got to be organized. So let's go to the town hall meeting. Let's argue it out, shout it out, curse it out, fight it out, but walk out of there with a single candidate or a single agenda. We don't do that. When the last time you've been invited to a community town hall meeting to do something other than get some opportunistic Negro or white person elected?
Right.
I can't remember the last time I got invited to something progressive for black people that didn't involve white people. I can't think of it.
Not me neither.
Every time something is white folks are there, normally because they financing and controlling.
I think with Nicki is also interesting too, man, because shortly after that, Trump had a post go out online in which it depicted the Obamas like monkeys. It was attached to a voter suppression piece of art. I almost think that's promoted. They're utilizing that as some kind of shock value, knowing it's gonna spread. What's your feelings on what Trump done in that tweet?
Well, number one, it was a wake-up call to the Obamas. Yes, you were president. Yes, you were the first lady. But to us, you still ain't nothing but a bunch of monkeys. So for all the that Barack Obama did for the white power structure, did you notice how the U.S. Congress, neither the House nor the Senate, nobody issued any type of a sanction to Donald Trump for his behavior? Think about that. If you Barack Obama, I'm a president. This man just did me like this, and ain't nobody going to do nothing? Not even a vote of no confidence.
And he said, I ain't apologize.
You see that? Not even a vote of no confidence. It showed Barack and Michelle, y'all was nothing but tools.
Wow.
See that? That's number one. That was Obama's wake-up call. Not that Trump did it, because Trump is childish, but your government that you represented didn't do nothing on your behalf.
Oh my God.
Nothing. So that's number one. Number two, that was Donald Trump re-energizing his racist base, keeping them happy, because remember, the poor white man, all he has is his white privilege. Think about it. Donald Trump ain't doing nothing for no poor white folks. All he got is his privilege loan. So in order to keep them energized and happy, he threw them a couple monkeys with the Obama face on.
Oh my goodness.
And it was not an accident. They did it on purpose.
He didn't. Yeah, well, I almost felt like they planted it there.
They did it on purpose.
Yeah.
He lied and said he didn't see the whole thing. He lied. You saw the whole thing. He lied.
Of course he saw the
And
whole
then he
thing.
disrespected the black governor in Maryland, the only black governor in the country, the brother with the bald head. He was going to have a governor's dinner at the White House. It's like an annual thing they do. But he excluded several Democratic governors, one of which was the brother. And me personally, I think he only wanted to exclude the brother, but that would have looked too racist. So he kept out some white ones too. Yeah. And guess what? Nobody said nothing about that. I'm gonna tell you something, Loon. I want black people to pay attention to the amount of power Donald Trump is illegally wielding, because he's setting a precedent. After Donald Trump, the U.S. presidency will
never be the same.
You know why? Because people have seen this man go above and beyond his constitutionally provided job and see nothing done to him. So we are moving into an American empire, Loon, where for those 8 years, the president can almost do whatever he wants. But let me throw this at you. A big reason why Donald Trump is not being held in check is because Donald Trump is a puppet for the Zionists. He's on the Epstein papers. And the Zionists will expose Donald Trump being involved in the Epstein scandal if he don't do exactly what they tell him to do. They got him by the balls. And guess what? They got the whole U.S. Congress by the balls. So they can't say nothing to Trump because guess what? We fund you, we fund you, we fund you. If you try to shut Trump down, we'll shut you down, cut off your money, and we'll expose the sexual rituals you've been involved in. Epstein was one of an entire cell of blackmail agents working for the Israeli Secret Service Mossad.
And a lot of people don't know about Mossad, and I kind of be quiet about. I know about this.
Israel is the capital of the United States of America.
Wow, that's a strong statement, which a lot of people share that opinion. I think Candace Owens has also been kind of, speaking about a lot of that stuff, whether one way or another. But there's a lot of people that is kind of waking up to what you're saying, man. That's coming.
And that's not new knowledge. I think a lot of people have already known that if you just knew the control.
But I think it's getting younger of the people that knows it, right? So I think at a certain age, maybe those people, but I'm seeing people 27 that's peddling some of this kind of rhetoric.
Here's the thing though, it don't matter no more.
Why not?
Because the elites, the satanic, pedophilic, elite white supremacist aristocracy of this planet have amassed so much power and military strength that they're almost ready to say, so what
Yeah.
What can you do about it?
Yeah.
You see it with the Epstein files.
We finna get in it? Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
You see with that?
Yeah.
What did Kamala Kash Patel say? He said nobody's being prosecuted. Wait a minute though. Y'all just took down Sean Combs. Sean Combs is sitting in a prison doing 4 to 5 years for voluntary prostitution. He paid somebody to have sex and he's convicted in jail 4 to 5 years. Y'all have elites who have eaten babies, molested girls, sodomized boys, unalived victims, and nobody's going to be prosecuted, but Sean Combs is in jail. If I'm Puffy's team, we going back to court.
Yeah.
If I am Sean Puffy Combs, I want my case reopened because somebody is going to explain to me why I'm in jail for prostitution, but yet we got evidence of Trump, we got evidence of Bill Gates, allegedly, Elon Musk, allegedly, all these grand knights of white supremacy, pictures, video, email. Nobody's even going to be investigated, but I'm in jail for voluntarily paying somebody to have voluntary sex. If I'm Puff, I'm going back to court. But here's the thing, Loon. That's why they convicted Puffy first. See, the reason Kelly, Cosby, and Combs got rolled out before Epstein on purpose. Kelly, Cosby, and Combs got rolled out and convicted before Epstein because the white power structure needed to give the American people something to chew on. Remember, we let the Roman Catholic Church off the hook. We had to let the Roman Catholic Church off the hook because the Vatican is in bed with the Zionists. Remember, the Zionists loaned the Vatican a big loan in 1832, the year after the Nat Turner revolt. So the Vatican is in debt to the Zionists. They in bed. And remember, the royal crown is in bed with the Zionists because the Balfour Declaration of 1917, when the British said that the Israelis, the Zionists, need a home of their own. Remember, it was the British and the Americans who backed Israel. See that? So they're in bed with them. And some people would argue that the Zionists have been interbreeding with the British royal family for generations. So 3 groups that people think don't mess with each other: Catholics, Jews, British royals. They all on the same team.
High level gang.
Yes, you see that?
High level
You see
gang.
that? So we're going to give you R. Kelly. We're going to give you Bill Cosby. We're going to give you Sean Combs. So by the time we get around to Epstein, your appetite will already be a little filled. At least you saw some justice.
Yes.
And then we're going to let Kamala Cash Patel tell you to your face, we ain't going after nobody.
And the funny thing about it is,
But Loon, we're going to give you 3.5 million files to look at.
That's what I'm saying.
We're going to give you 2,000 videos to look at. We're going to give you 180,000 photos to look at. And after you get all mad, we're going to give y'all the middle finger and say nobody's being prosecuted.
it's crazy.
So what y'all know?
But do you also know Cash Patel's position prior to getting on as
was it?
FBI director?
What?
He was one of the main people with the flag of release the Epstein files. They all should be held
I didn't know
accountable.
that.
Yeah, he
I'm not
was.
surprised, hypocrite. But Pam Bondi got to get most of the smoke because she's the attorney general. She's Cash Patel's boss. You see what I'm saying? But here's the thing. Donald Trump is scared because he's implicated in that. You feel me? So the Zionists have basically told Trump, allegedly, in my opinion, if you do everything we need you to do, you're going to be fine. The reason they not releasing all the files at once, Loon, is they got to go through and they have to redact all the names.
Yeah.
So they're only giving you at a time because they can't miss none of the big names, right? So they remember when they first dropped the files, did you know that there was a download all button? There was a button you could hit and get them all downloaded on your computer. Guess what they did? They went back in. You got to go through each file.
It's those little things.
You see that? Who gonna do that for $3.5 million? Loon? You could pay, how long, if you paid somebody to do that, I wonder how long it would take for them to download. You feel me? 3.5 million documents, 2,000 videos, 1,800 pictures, 180,000 pictures. You see that? And here's the thing. They said we've only been given 1% of the information. And Loon, if they gave you this your first 1%, we give you this. This must be the softest information in the file.
Trimmed off the top.
Soft, Loon.
Yeah.
So if we gave you this, and this is easy, imagine what's in them papers, bro.
Yeah.
Loon, you'll never get the list because it is a who's who of white supremacy. Bill Gates is in the paperwork asking Epstein to get him some STD medicine because he think he gave it to his wife. He got burnt by one of them chicks, probably a child they molested, allegedly. He gave it to his wife, so he telling Epstein, look, homie, this some around the way. These billionaires.
Yeah, on some regular shit.
This is what you get in the hood.
Yes.
These billionaires.
Yeah.
Look. I need you to slip me some amoxicillin, some doxycycline, so I could put it in my wife's drink because I think I might have gave her the clap.
God damn it.
And I'm like the 3rd richest man in the world.
Ain't that crazy?
Elon Musk begging to go to a party. Them emails.
I seen
everybody. Listen, the world.
Allegedly,
the world is ran by a cabal of about 300 different personalities and corporations. The Bilderberg is what I want everybody to research. Bilderberg. The group is named after the hotel where they first met in 1954, Hotel de Bilderberg. They meet once every other year, Loon. They come together to dictate the global agenda for the next 2 years. They decide who's gonna be the president, who's gonna be FBI director. They decide on the next COVID outbreak, AIDS, war, everything. It's about 300 of them. People need to really study them because they decided Obama was going to be president. They choose everything.
there's more than one group too. There's like
Right, but they all come together.
Right,
Because
yeah,
remember,
for
white
sure.
supremacy, they're supremely organized, right? So it's more than one group, 300, right? But they all go to and it's different meetings. It ain't just the Bilderberg, but that's one of the most critical ones. You
Right.
can't miss that.
Yes.
That's elite. Bill Gates didn't get invited to his first Bilderberg meeting like 10 years ago. Remember, he's been a billionaire for years. he just got
It ain't the money.
You see, because once you make it to the Bilderberg, you basically
it's for life now.
Immune.
Yeah, it's for life.
They say nobody's going to jail. Cash, but you just threw Puffy in jail, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, and you got smoking gun evidence. He said nobody going to jail.
Ain't that crazy?
They gave you Cosby, Combs, and Kelly to dissuade because they knew this was coming.
With them releasing so many files, what do we believe and what do we ignore? Is there anything in there that should be ignored? Because my understanding is that some of what we're hearing in the allegations come from a quote unquote tip line, the same kind of line they had for Diddy.
Right. But
what position do you take on that?
So, for example, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, who probably is the greatest in American history. The information on him came from an unrelated tip. Allegedly, Supreme Court Justice Uncle Tom Clarence Thomas fondled a 45-year-old girl in a church. That was the tip. Another tip, allegedly, was that Sean Carter and Pusha T were near Harvey Weinstein somewhere on a given day, and Harvey Weinstein either SA'd or attempted to SA somebody in their presence. Those are just tips. No follow through, no arrests, no charges, no nothing. You can't do nothing with them. They could be fake, they could be real. They're unrelated to Epstein. They just end up in that file because they collected everything.
I don't understand how they end up in the file if they're unrelated to Epstein.
Same thing. But when I looked into it, it seemed as if they were saying that anything from the time period that involves celebrities or men of stature in inappropriate sexual conduct got sucked into it.
See, this is why I think they're confusing the public on purpose, even.
I believe that.
Because you trim it down and give us the Epstein files. If some of this shit is tips and things that you would say is unsubstantiated, keep it out of what you're calling the Epstein files.
They don't want to keep it out. They want it in for the reason you just said, because they know the American people are hypnotized by sensationalism. So if I drop Jay-Z name, y'all will run with Jay-Z name and forget about Bill Gates.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So yes, they're doing that on purpose.
What do you think Jay-Z's recourse could be, should be, and how you think?
To keep quiet because you ain't brought nothing. They're like if somebody accused you of something, you ain't been charged, you ain't been arrested, ain't been no investigation, there's nobody saying you did it. Think about it. You don't even have the victim on record. You see that? You do not.
But we look at the Epstein files and it is a historical catastrophic event. It's something that when you look when you go 100 years from now, the Epstein files is going to mean something, especially for a black man like Jay-Z. It's going to be even weaponized different for Jay than it is for even some of the other counterparts.
Right, but he's not in the file per se.
But that's for people like you that knows that.
Right.
But from a salacious headline perspective.
I see what you said. The average person don't even know that he's not in the file.
Exactly.
This was an unrelated tip, which is an unrelated, unsubstantiated tip. Here's what I want to say. This is not news to those of us who study white secret society, shadow government, global white supremacy. We've always known they were pedophiles. We've always known that they were Satanists. This is nothing new. What I want people to understand is that Epstein Island is only one of many locations in this country where these activities take place, Loon. The Epstein Island is the grand mansion of white supremacist aristocratic pedophilia and sex abuse. You follow me? That's, in other words, if you're black, you may never get invited there. This is the elite of that's the grand mansion.
1% or 1%.
Royal palace.
Yes.
But guess what? They have a space where they do that stuff in Tennessee, hypothetically.
Right.
They have a space in Cali. They have a space in
And
Texas.
it's just their space.
Absolutely. They got ranches all over this country,
Yes.
underground bases and everything.
Yes.
It's just that's the Grand Canyon. So my thing with people, don't get tied to Epstein Island. That's only one cell of many.
And I don't think people are tied to it. I think people do view it like a moving, living, breathing thing.
Yes.
Like the Epstein files and the Epstein situation is not dead when Epstein dies.
Exactly. If he's dead, because I am not convinced that he is. Remember now, Epstein gets arrested at the year before Donald Trump's final year of his first term. So he gets arrested during Donald Trump's third year of his first term. Remember, and this is in the files, he didn't really care for Trump. Remember, Epstein is a Mossad intelligence agent whose job is to get blackmail files on every major player in global politics so they can use it against them to make them conform to the Israeli agenda, right? So he don't care for these people, he's just doing his job. Trump somehow found out Epstein don't like him, allegedly, and he had him arrested so he couldn't interfere with his election.
Boy, that was a good one.
See that? He got arrested right before election year because Trump somehow suspected that if this stuff come out on the campaign trail, I'm done. So let me get rid of this guy. I don't believe. Here's the reason I don't think Epstein is gone. He's an eyewitness to too many other people's wrongdoings. If I got to take down Trump, if I got to take down Bill Gates, if Elon Musk get out of hand, you feel me? He can testify as to what they did because he set it up.
Right.
He can be given, right, what they call it, immunity. So why would you get rid of a man who could testify on almost any member of the white aristocracy in the world?
Well, I can argue that's why you get rid of him. It's because he can testify against everyone and he has all of that information.
But if you feel that there's weak links in the committee of 300, and you might want to embarrass and expose one publicly, you need somebody who can be a witness to what they did. In other words, Jeffrey Epstein is so low on the totem pole. He's a mule.
Disposable.
He's not a play. He's a mule.
Yeah.
He's a go-between.
Right.
You need them for some things. You see what I'm saying?
But he got himself too hot. He got himself too radioactive.
I don't think he gets hot if they don't want him to get hot. I believe they gave us Jeffrey Epstein to make us think that their system isn't foolproof. They gave us Epstein to take some of the air out the bag. You follow me? Let's give them
But if it's as dangerous as you're saying, I think they're playing with fire. But they always control how much they give you when they.
Nobody's strong enough to do anything to them.
Right. That's what's scary.
They own the military. You got to remember, we talking about people who got their own private militaries.
Right.
Everybody at that Bill Gates got his own military, man. Bill Gates could pick up a phone and have 1,000 guns in 5 minutes, man. They don't care.
Bro, I'm in some of these neighborhoods with some of my really, really rich buddies. And some of these houses got like 3 and 4 and 5 guards, like guarding the house at all times, like on some small military hand, like, like on some, on the post.
But let me give you this. You know, Israel has right of return, right? Any Jew in the world, even if you're accused of sex abuse, because this is what they use it for. What do any Jewish parents, what do? They assume their right of return and they move back to Israel alone. There's been stories done on that the Jewish government will not extradite to America. You hear that? Because they have a right of return. You mean to tell me Jeffrey Epstein would not have activated his right of return before they came and arrested him? No way. Loon, there's no way you're going to tell me an intelligence agent for Mossad could not have gotten out of America and gotten back to Israel. Right. I don't think he's dead. I think it was a setup.
Because it is a freaky accident.
Remember, when you know something is coming down the pike, you control it. Mm-hmm. This is about to get out. We got to serve you up. But you're going to go into exile. We're going to remake you. You feel me? Right. We got to serve you up. Because if we don't serve you up, they're going to keep looking for other people. We can't afford the big dogs to get caught. You feel me?
Right.
Jeffrey, you did a good job. We pulling you off the public work. You feel me? You're going to get your face done over. We got a new pass. Remember, these are the
Yeah, the top of the top. 1% of the 1%.
He got a new passport, new house. There is no Jeffrey Epstein. He got a whole new name. He Frank James.
And he watching all this unfold.
Come on. You feel me?
For sure.
Playing cards with Saddam Hussein. And Osama bin Laden. They over there playing hopscotch. You feel me?
Man, that's
Bro,
deep.
they gave us Epstein because he's low. Think about it, Loon. These the big dogs. We got to protect the big dog. You got to fall on the sword for us.
Yes, sir.
We still gonna let you get your girls and all. You feel me? He's still gonna be doing his thing. But you can't be public no more. That part,
Wow.
you had to take one for the team. And he took it. He ain't dead.
Yo, bro.
Remember
that's
what they said in
crazy.
the prison? You heard what they said? They think we stupid. They said all the cameras malfunction. Loon, this is like all the cameras
At the same time.
at the Manhattan Correction Center at the same time had a malfunction except one camera, and they couldn't catch the tape.
Ain't that something?
You believe that?
They playing without, no.
Come on, man. Epstein ain't dead.
They playing without intelligence.
Epstein ain't dead.
I don't believe that the cameras went out. I think intentionally they were put out, but I'm not
get him
necessarily
up out of there.
I'm not necessarily saying he's not dead. Maybe they cut the cameras in when he
But if I have to gamble,
right.
if it's $1 million,
You putting it the other way.
I'm putting it the other way. There was no need to. He's worth more to them alive because he's a walking bank of information. There's no need.
But
for
does
him
the
to-
information still live? Even though he died, I don't think the information dies with him. That's what I'm saying.
The information don't, but he's an eyewitness in case they ever need to expose somebody. Because I'm gonna go a step deeper. The Epstein files are only dealing with the white elites. They're not dealing with the black celebrities. Because you know all them got dirt too. This is why
Yes.
the celebrities so quiet. Because they got dirt too. They just wasn't done. on
Who's the
Epstein
black
Island.
Epstein? Like that has that
There would have
level
probably
of,
been Puff, probably the closest.
but he didn't fold.
But you know what? I want to give a shout out to Puff.
He ain't give nobody up.
Not only did not give nobody up, he ain't been named yet. Puffy is not in the Epstein files.
With them, that's crazy.
Think about it. If I'm Puff, I'm going back to court. This is getting thrown out. There's no way I'm doing 5 years for paying somebody to have sex when y'all out here eating babies, man. You heard they said somewhere in there allegedly that some of the victims are buried on Donald Trump's golf course in Mar-a-Lago.
That's heavy.
But here's where I want to go with white people and black people alone. Because I always talk about selective morality, picking and choosing what you care about.
Yeah.
White people upset over this, right? Children being molested, women being, people being, right? Here's my question to white people. If this really bothers you, why do you have a problem giving black people reparations? Because everything that has been done in the Epstein files to your little white kids was done to our black children for 250 years. Loon, there's nothing in the Epstein file that was not done on the plantation. They raped our boys. They raped our girls. They raped our women. They raped our men. They unalived them. They ate them. Everything white people crying about in these Epstein files, and they should because it's wrong. But guess what? It was done to black people for 250 years. Remember, Jeffrey Epstein bought the island, Little St. James, I believe it's called, for $8 million in 98. 08, 18, 28, it's been 28 years. 28 years! We went through it for 250.
Right.
So what are you saying, white people? That when it happens to white kids, it's bad, but when it happened to black kids, it's not? And if you so against pedophilia, white America, right? Do you plan on celebrating July 4th, 250th birthday? Because wasn't Thomas Jefferson a pedophile? Wasn't George Washington a pedophile? Wasn't most of the slave plantation owners pedophiles? This is documented, Loon. They would have sex with 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old little girls. Black, yes. So help me understand how you so upset about the Epstein files, but on July 4th, 1776, all y'all gonna be in Philadelphia celebrating the 250th birthday, a nation that was birthed by pedophiles. Let's go a little bit further. Why has the U.S. Congress never passed a minimum age for child marriage?
Never passed it.
Why is there no law, Loon, in this country that says marriage can only be between a man in a consenting female who is at least 18 years old.
Right.
Do you know we don't have a minimum
I didn't know
marriage
that.
law in this country?
No, sir.
Do you know that in 33 states you can marry children? California has no minimum age. All you need is parental consent and judicial consent. I'm gonna say it again. In the state of California, you can marry a child of any age. There is no minimum.
That's heavy.
But y'all say y'all don't like pets.
Right. Yeah.
Elvis Presley got a new movie coming out. Wasn't Priscilla living in his house and she
Yes.
was what, 13?
13.
14?
Yes.
So I need white people to explain to me. You upset over Epstein. But Elvis got a new movie coming out. You about to celebrate Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, two known plantation pedophiles, on July 4th. Your country don't have a minimum marriage age for the girls. 33 states allow child marriage. If you're against this loan, why don't I see proof of it?
Oh my goodness. That's heavy, man.
Do you still belong
That's
to the Roman
heavy.
Catholic Church? Hundreds of thousands of documented sex abuse cases against children. You still Catholic, but you got a problem with Epstein? You had a problem with
heavy.
Sean Combs? But you gonna turn a blind eye to this?
Let's pivot to a couple different things. Let's pivot to Ye. Ye apologizing, because I did hear you speak about some of the, Israeli government and how, they're still influential in America. What do you take from Ye apologizing to the Jews and to blacks? Because he did throw blacks in there.
Okay, any apology?
Yes,
Okay, I think
he threw blacks in there. What's your feelings on him apologizing to the Jews, and does this help or harm Kanye West?
I don't have a problem with Kanye West apologizing to the Zionists. No more than I didn't have an issue with my brother Nick Cannon apologizing to the Zionists after he did the Professor Griff interview.
Forgot about that.
And the reason I don't have a problem with either one of them is they stood. At least you stood. Think about it, Loon. We got a bully coming through the front door. I'm too scared to fight him. You too scared to fight him. But the cameraman fights him.
Right.
He starts to beat the cameraman. Cameraman say, okay, I had enough. I'm not going to clown the cameraman. He did something you and I was too scared to do. At least he stood up and boxed him. When he realized he couldn't beat him, he backed off, but at least he gave it a shot. Nick Cannon at least stood up. Once he got overwhelmed, he said, okay, y'all, I stood. I can't do this on my own. Let me sit my ass down. Kanye stood even harder. Stood long.
Yeah.
I can't do this on my own.
Lost it all.
They not let me do no concerts. They messing with my money. They trying to box me out. You see, I got the highest child support in American history, right? Let me sit down. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm good. Kanye could hold his head up because I don't know of another black celebrity who told the truth about the Zionists during their prime. The closest is Michael Jackson. Kanye told the truth about the Zionists in his prime and lived to tell about it. So the fact he had to apologize to try to salvage some of his career, I'm cool with that. At least you stood.
Do you think it's sincere or strategic?
Strategic.
Stop the bleeding. Yeah.
Because the art of war dictates strategy. You
Yes.
feel me?
Yes.
He's at a level where other black millionaires and billionaires, they're not going to get too close to Kanye because of what he said. Everybody's scared of white folks. Everybody's scared of the Zionists. Everybody's scared of losing their status in white society. So Kanye probably out there on his own for the most part. You know?
For sure. They start debanking him and everything.
Yeah.
Now, what that's your perspective on the Jewish side of the apology. What about the black side? Do you think he done something to black people that he owes an apology? And if so, should black people
Slavery
accept the
was
apology?
a choice. A couple of other things he did, wearing the T-shirt with Candace Owens, that thing. He ain't the first, he ain't the last to disrespect the race. But I need him to know that can't be a regular course of action for him. Because we got to get to the point, Loon, where when you cross the race, you excommunicate it. We can't keep this revolving door. You feel me? We can't, because if that's the case, that's what's wrong with the church. There's no standard, right? I go molest a kid, I get baptized, they accept me back. I cheat on my wife, I get baptized. The church doesn't hold people accountable. That's why people go. That's why they don't hold them accountable, because they need that money. You feel me? The black community can't be the black church. The black church don't hold nobody accountable, right? We can't be that. We got to have standards, but in order to do that, we got to come together, decide on what those standards are going to be, and enforce them.
For sure. Let's talk about FDMG for a moment. No, before we get to FDMG, you did come out at one point and say that your accounts were frozen, business and personal. What was the update on that? And explain to the audience a little bit. What happened, your response to it, and where it stands now.
Well, we got debanked.